I forgot to turn off the light. Hopefully it's not too blinding in your eyes. I apologize. I'll do it right now. And now the light's off, and we'll turn it back on in a moment. I don't know. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, and welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. I don't know why I said it like that. Today we're painting up Vulture. I was thinking about doing them a little different, Ann. Like, I'm thinking about leaning, like keeping the green, but leaning it down into black. So like a stealth suit Vulture
I love that.
instead of daytime attack Vulture.
We've been doing a lot of like painting to black from other colors, and I think it would be cool to see green.
What did I do last week?
Well, we did. No, it's. Let's see. You did Hunter.
Oh, that's black.
Yeah.
Shake
And we
did.
did Gwenum last week with.
That's black.
And then yesterday we did another one.
Well, now it's just a trend. We have to stay to it.
Yeah.
We're just gonna do it.
Show us the way, Dallas.
Why not? We're just gonna stay right on this trend. Hello, Mr. Rich. Hello, Jimbo. Daz. Hello. Broccoli Violet. Love that name. Seeker. Sup? Time to watch a bald man paint up a dangerously bald man. Hey, how do you know I'm not dangerous? I can be quite fierce in short distances. Do the whole stream in song, please. Ooh. I mean, you may never know when the song will come and go, and how it weaves in and out of the paint, expelling and spelling what we will take to heart.
There is a very fun edit that I just did live of just slow panning back to you while you were singing, and it was everything.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Look, y'all ask for stuff, and sometimes it just happens, and
Sometimes you get it.
then you regret it. It's like Thulsa Doom said, like, people have no...
Is this the musical episode?
Yeah. That's right. If life were a musical, we'd all automatically know the chorus and jump in with song and coordinated dance.
Do people not do that? Is that just me?
Yeah, how do you not know the dance? Did you not get the memo? The mammo? Thulsa Doom said, people know not what they do. So when you ask for something like a song and sing-songy paint jams, like, you just might get it. Glaze wash. Is there a musical comic book hero? Gwen is in a band. Yeah, Gwen's in a band. Who else is musical? Which other marvelous Marvel character? Oh, Spider-Punk. Who else? Who else is in a band, friends?
Does Carnage have a guitar?
Carnage should have a guitar. Dazzler. Dazzler's the best one. How did I forget Dazzler? Dazzler's like, I've wanted a Dazzler miniature forever. And you want to hear a fight, listen to me and Schick fight about roller skates, 70s disco, or 80s punk Dazzler. Which one? I mean, really maybe the only reason we've never made Dazzler is because we keep fighting over which one. Sandman is just a load of Rolling Stones. Boo! I mean, fortunately, we make hard plastic miniatures, so tipping is typically not an issue. They're pretty light, and this boy's got like this whole brick is actually part of the foot in engineering. So you attach the whole brick to the wall with a little plastic glue, and you have one solid weld, and then that's why you have like this big triangle piece as well. Is it gives a nice big bite to grip the base. I'm not typically worried about. We usually figure out how to prevent tipping pretty quick and easy. It's not a big deal. I mean, base placement goes a long, long way too. Lead snapping. I was in a rap group. I was in a rock group. Several. Any reason why you did not go for more feather wings? We went back and forth on the design, and we kind of settled on this more hybrid look that can be seen in several comic runs, and we really liked it. And thought it made for a pretty interesting Vulture. I mean, there's so many designs for many of these characters, right? Like, you know, you're gonna pick one, and that means, you know, somebody's gonna rather have something else. But, you know, maybe that's when you get second Vulture. Feather wing Vulture. I have ska punk band member written all over me. That is not the kind of band I was in. And you can guess.
What kind of punk band you were in?
What kind of band I was in, yeah. Sure wasn't ska.
I feel that it was probably metal.
Oh, quite. Oh, quite.
Oh, quite.
Oh,
Indeed.
quite.
Indeed, Mr. Metal. But I will say, having seen Dallas at karaoke, that he has range. Perhaps range that one wouldn't expect.
I do try to have range. Oh, speaking of, vocal range, man. And there was a time I had about 5 octaves.
That's very impressive.
And I did some really silly things in my 20s. And I got older, and I lost the top end of that. And it was very sad. I heard Electro has an alternate head without the starfish mask. Does Vulture have any alternate head with a flight mask? Vulture has no alternate parts. But it's true about Electro. Electro has 2 head options. That is not a fakie. Did I run into issues with posing? Why somebody would not use starfish on Electro is a mystery. Agreed, Fuhrer. Any issues with the posing? No. I mean, we came up with several, right? And you had to choose. But the design idea. So like when we start talking about posing, usually I get with the art posse, and we kind of discuss like characters and it's like, what do we want to see out of this, right? What's the character? And I definitely, we definitely landed on the, you want that bird of prey, right? Coming down, swooping down to attack somebody unsuspectingly. So, and then whoever decides to take on the challenge, like, I think I did, somebody will correct me, I think I did Electro and Shocker and Preston did Vulture. So Preston's like, I'll do Vulture, I want to try that. And then Preston runs off and draws, a pile of poses around our discussion, right? And then we all get back together and we take a look at it and then we go, oh, that one's pretty cool, but I think it should be doing this, or like, what if it did this? Like, and then we start discussing all that, and then we do like refining. Then it goes to like another little committee once the art team is happy, goes to like a little committee and everybody takes a look at it and it's like, yeah, that'll work. And sometimes we get engineers involved and be like, so engineers, we're doing something silly, how bad is this? And the engineers are like, oh, that's easy. Or like, you're a madman, like, why are you doing that to us? Oh, let's snap and see you later. See you later. When entering Pathway Worthy, you need to respect MCPIP. Where does it end? Would converting the broccoli violet, that is actually covered in the rules. And it states that no character that has been, or only released characters in Crisis Protocol are allowed. So the Hulk is in Crisis Protocol, sure. So converting it to Green Goblin, Ultimate Green Goblin has not been released in Crisis Protocol, so therefore would not be a legal entry. Seeker says, my wife plays web, so I'll be getting a foes list made up to face her web heads. Awesome. My partner plays foes, so I try to maintain a solid, I maintain a solid collection of MCP anyways. But I always make sure I bring something fun, although she told me I'm never allowed to bring Ghost Rider against her again. She did not like him. I can't help it, I brought him back. Okay, I can't help it, he comes back. She's like, no. Uncool, my dude.
Some people just have Ghost Rider related trauma to work out.
It's true.
Technically, you were helping. You were helping her face
true.
her fears.
We just recently started a collection of Ghost Rider comics. And when she saw the character, the Orb, she was like, yes, this is what I need. When choosing poses or versions of characters are allowed to use movie, TV iterations, or you stay in comics for a uniform look. We stay within comics. Poses you can get anywhere. Like anything can inspire a good pose. Like, I might be watching a sweet 80s action movie on a Friday night, and I'm like, oh, pause, and then some cool kick or some cool action shot like gets me all inspired, and I'm like, that would make a great, so and so, right? And then I'll bring that to the team and be like, something like this, right? And then we'll iterate on it, right? So like posing, like getting ideas for posing you can pull that from anywhere. You just never know where ideas or inspiration may strike on that. But the costumes are all comic book. Hopefully I answered Broccoli Violet's question in a good enough manner for them about the worthy. Gotta paint the wings silver. Gotta get them nice and crisp. Gotta make them shiny. Gotta make you wish they were your wings, not someone else's. And here pretty soon, when they're dry, I'm gonna paint them green. Is taking reference from 3D things like movie or actual people easier in 2D art? Oh, I definitely think so. Kel, that's for me way easier because a lot of times, like, especially comic art will draw something and it's really, really, really cool, but the pose is actually kind of funky in 3D and actually kind of breaks apart. So seeing something more realistic is always really good because it shows that it's more possible, I guess is the word I want. And it can show more how the body works to do that thing, right? And then a lot of times we do kind of break things down where we're like looking at a pose and it's like pretty cool, but then you start to get like a test print of it and you're like, well, this doesn't work at all. Like, that's weird how the hand is. Like, how do we adjust the hand and maintain the pose and make it all work, right? There's a ton of R&D that goes into miniatures. This is a process, right? To make good miniatures. We have a special meeting just where we review miniatures and discuss how to make them better. It's like, okay, well, Vulture, yeah, let's make the wings bigger. I think we can make the wings bigger. What if we curl them like this? What if we do this? And that's when you get your crack team of professional miniature makers all together in a room. He was always going to be on a 50. Typically, anything with a wing, I cut out automatically, even in concept, like, and Dev gets the information later, but like, if Chick and I are talking about, like, we pretty much know anything with wings is going to be on a 50, like, typically. Because the wingspan, it just takes up space. It's a lot of space to take into consideration. Now we're going to do something on wings that's not 50, and people are going to be like, not always. I'm like, I know. Silly Dallas. That's why I use words like typically. Whose idea was the viewer on the base? That's a great question. I don't remember. I don't remember.
It is super fun though when we get to put like those little sense of place things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always nice, and like sometimes it's just like, you know, it might have been something else in the concept, and then the sculptor might have just kind of thrown something else on there instead and pitched the idea, right? It's all about pitching ideas.
I like the narrative element because like to me it's like maybe he was up on some touristy thing looking down at his prey or something, and now he's leaping down.
Le leap! Le leap is what I yell every time like when we're watching the movies and Batroc the Leaper shows up. Le leap! Le kick! So old. I gotta make his skin look old. Yeah, see, Sam is on 35, so it's not always, but sometimes you just need the space. You know, sometimes the manager just says, like, look, it's gotta be on a 50. Let's do green oxide and a little tiny touch of bright yellow green. I don't know if this is actually the color I want, but I'm going to try it. I think that's good enough. A little bit of that metallic in there too, why not? Sassy. Ooh, great question. Any tips for things like skin blemishes, liver spots? The answer is less. Like if you're looking at reference and like you find somebody with like a bunch of liver spots on like the forehead or the side of the head, you just went less, right? It's just way less. You want to, it's an interpretation of life is what miniature painting is. So you don't need every single one. So way less than you would, than what would really be there, is my first answer. I typically do a spot of paint that's a little bit watered down for things like liver spots and aging. I do a little tiny touch that's a little bit watered down, and then I use my second brush to like grab it and let it, and because it's wet, it kind of pulls it up, but leaves like that little ring, that little bathtub ring that's typically considered bad, like a painting faux pas. But that can be super good there for effects, for like aging effects. Same thing with moles. Don't make them dark, right? You don't want it to be like super, super dark. Moles are a very common human characteristic. And it's what makes individual humans unique and beautiful, right? So you want to be able to learn how to put those on sometimes. And my trick for that is just don't go as dark as, like maybe a reference might show. Because it can just look like a super, super, super dark spot. Go with something much lighter. And then if it doesn't feel right, you can darken it. It's much easier to do like another little slightly darker dot than to try to lighten up the one that you just painted. So those are my tips. Principles for painting greens. Turquoise can be your friend. The human eye registers the color green and more variations of green than any other color, so you kind of have an unlimited palette when you're working with greens. I really like playing with them. Blue, yellow are really great additives. Turquoise, purple can be really nice if used properly. You don't want to overuse the purple because purple and green has a tendency to be the colors of villain, and so if you're using it as like a shade or an accent on a hero, it can end up looking a little more too villainous. So I try to avoid purple unless I'm being very, very careful and cautious and thoughtful about it. I don't really have like I paint green like this, but I don't really have many things where I paint just like this. But I do try to like maintain a bunch of different greens when I'm doing something that's primarily green. So like making sure I'm using a different color green on these wings than, like the suit. So I'm going to say totally away from turquoise on the wings. And I'm going to lean into turquoise on the bodysuit. Like much, 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 much more turquoise and black. And maybe we'll get to some blemishes today. We might be able to do that. Speaking of, let's go ahead and add our second shade to his skin. You know what? Let's also, while we're out, just get paint all over us. Help! Oh no, we're out of paper towels in here.
Oh, I'll go get some. I'll be right back.
Maybe Tony's watching.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do while I'm gone. I have no control, Chad.
Tony might be watching. It might just bring me paint, or I don't know. Le gasp, le kick. Okay, Anne's gone. Now you can ask your real questions. I'm joking. I won't answer them. Did you run to him in the hall?
No. Oh, tell you a second. Here you go.
Thank you. Paper towels. Are you I am forklift certified. Thank you for asking.
I was almost killed in the hallway rounding that corner as Jeremy ran to your aid.
Oh, Jeremy brought him.
Yeah.
Hero Jeremy.
I was jump scared pretty good.
I will buy. I now owe Jeremy one coffee of his choice.
Now we are, in the midst of a new season. What's your seasonal beverage? We haven't retackled that age-old issue.
Oh, I don't. I only have one season. It's only it's either coffee or pumpkin spice. And if I can't get my pumpkin spice, it's just a coffee.
I've been trying to just make coffee at home, honestly, because it costs less, so it's not that exciting. But we've been making some vanilla coffee that's been quite good.
I make my coffee at home when I'm at home. Did you buy any of the Adepticon coffee?
No, I did not get a chance to do that.
Yeah, I have some, and it's very smooth.
Ooh, we'll have to talk about that later. I have kind of gotten into having my little tumbler though, with my coffee in it that stays warm, because I am definitely the type of person that starts in the coffee and then forgets that it exists while I'm working or painting or whatever, and then suddenly it is no longer warm.
Heard Dallas is a fan of donuts. Somebody's telling tales out of school.
I was like, is that true?
It is true. I do love donuts a lot.
J'accuse.
But I want to know why people are talking about it.
I was like, I feel like you're more upset that people are talking about it than thinking it's wrong. I think they're probably talking about it because didn't we talk about that on stream sometime? That
I don't remember.
I don't know. We got some Top Pot donuts this weekend
Oh yeah,
on game day, and it was chef's kiss.
those are fire. It's almost. Cal Fry says it's almost hibiscus tea or hibiscus green tea season. So I'm gonna put some flesh color dots in the shadow to kind of show that age as well. And those are very, very light. I don't like this green right here, so we're going to cover that. Pour over peeps in the office. I guess I don't know what pour over means. Oh man, sometimes I just order donuts for the office. Willikers. I don't know what pour over means. Does that make me uncouth?
You don't know what pour over means?
Yeah, is that?
So it's just like when you have one of those glass carafes, and then you have your filter, and you boil the water, and you put the grounds in the filter like you would in like a coffee maker, and then you just pour the boiling water over. It's basically like a coffee maker, but
I mean, I have a French press.
Yeah, French press is a little different. We have both in our house, and I was informed today that basically we prefer different means of making coffee. Because I like the French press, but yeah.
I like my French press a lot. I love my French press.
I feel like the French press makes the coffee stronger. I might be imagining that, but it's because instead of just like pouring coffee through the grounds, you have that time when it's all a part of it.
It's all together.
It's all in the mix.
I'm more of a Blue Star guy myself there, Johnny. You can be mad if you want. Question maybe if you could share, I saw a post about hard plastic kits for Legion. Does that include E-Web, and will we get something non-Snow Trooper to go with Mando Season 1? I can't answer any of those questions. We do have a desire to get everything to hard plastic. What, when, how quick that will all happen is, the future. It's the future I can't speak to. But we do love hard plastic, and we do want to get stuff in there. Oh, I'll never break NDA. And I don't think you're trying to get me to. So, we shared a bit of a roadmap, but I think the only thing we've really shown is like the storms. Oh, I know way more than you think. What we share? Stormtroopers, Rebel Troopers, Vader. See, I like this blacker costume. I think this is interesting for Vulture. Good question, Kel. I actually did. With being so much green in the costume, I added more red than normal to the skin to kind of warm it up. But I still use my basic, if you followed any of the streams, basic how I approach skin tones philosophies here, right? No new philosophy. I just went with a little more red because there's just so much green. I wanted to make sure like he didn't feel too pallid. It's always like the struggle when you're painting flesh is making them too warm or too zombie-like. But because there's so much green, I wanted a little bit more red, which is also funny because like the older you get, the less red. Like you kind of want to desaturate, but I think the green helps balance out the situation. So I think it's working. I don't know if it's working now. awkward brush placement. I don't think that silly old bear is ready for Captain America. We're gonna slowly build up the black onto the costume, developing the darker green of this costume. He's like a vulture taking flight in the night. He'll give you an awful fright. What's wrong, Anne?
Nothing. It's just very funny.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the entertainment. But if you must know, it was Fright in the Night. Really was excellent.
I'm trying to practice that, Broadway cadence. You know what I'm talking about. There's that Broadway cadence.
Well, there that particularly felt very Andrew Lloyd Webber, like Cats.
Yeah.
I would say there's more than one Broadway cadence, but that's for a different time. Maybe a future lunch conversation. I don't think these poor folks need to be subjected to it. But I guess it was also the same. Nope, this is already gone too far.
For the layman, there's one. Vincent Price on Thriller. I don't have that monologue memorized. There is actually a Vincent Price monologue from a song I do have memorized, start to finish.
Wow.
The whole Vincent Price monologue memorized from a song. If you can figure out what that song is. I will be thoroughly impressed. Somebody's Googling Vincent Price monologue songs. See, if I did it, I'm going to mess it up, though. I see Elle trying to get me to do it. You can't just throw that at us. Am I allowed to do that? Won't Twitch be... Won't
I'm
Twitch
not
know?
sure that you are,
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to do that.
but just close your eyes and imagine it.
Yeah,
It's
close
probably
your
a little bit
eyes.
like that.
Close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. Take your time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now imagine the song that you don't know. Imagine the lines that you've never heard probably.
Incredible content. We're not making a content. We're asking you to imagine it.
You imagine the content
This
that
is
you
very
could be getting.
elevated.
Yeah, this is
This
we're
is modern art.
Dada era, right? Like, what is a stream? That's
Ask yourselves.
yeah.
We can't tell you.
Can't tell you.
Perception's reality, baby.
So close your eyes. Imagine the song you've probably never heard, the words you've probably never heard in an order that you can't
That you
comprehend,
prefer.
and then put my voice to it.
Oh, gosh.
Cutting arms off plastic dolls. Maybe I should not close my. Yeah, you probably not.
Yeah, anyone with sharp objects or implements, don't close your eyes. But still imagine it. And we'll know if you've done it or not. I'll tell you that much.
That's right, liver spots.
We can sense the truth.
Okay, can y'all see that? It's going to be very tricky. So I'm going to use a very wet brush. And I'm going to use a dry brush. And I'm going to soak up to just make little dots. And this might be a little too big and broad, so we'll need to rethink that in a moment. He's so grumpy. Oh, that works way better. Okay, hold on. I've got it now. Crack the code. Let's get rid of these dots. Those will need to dry for just a moment. It's been a while since I've done that. Okay, we need to let that dry, so we're going to do another thing. We still got 10 minutes. We got plenty of time. How many parts is Vulture? We'll talk about an existential question. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think. His wings and arms are one. No, they're separate pieces. Right? I'm pretty sure they're separate pieces. Oh my gosh. I built him weeks ago. It's not the monologue before Thriller. Is it Tim Burton's Vincent? It is not Tim Burton's Vincent. That's a great guess. It's from a song. Do you have a guiding point when creating miniatures? There's so many different Vultures. I'm curious how you settle on one. It's usually like a discussion with the team, right? It's, we just kind of, you got to pick one, right? So it's a discussion, and which one would be interesting now. Maybe what would we do in the future? Like there's a lot of discussion. Sometimes there's no discussion. Sometimes it's just we're doing this one. Like we got to. But it's typically we have a little discussion time and talk about what would be a cool costume and a cool version and which version has some rules that we're interested in exploring. We're on to you, Kemp. We ain't letting this go. That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to let it go. I'm surprised no one's found it by Googling yet, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, all the different versions have a different feel, right? Like at some point. And so it's, sometimes it's just based on which do we think will have an interesting feel. If you could go back and redo any miniature and have it released, who would you take a second run at? Whoa! Like, so fun fact, Marco and I are definitely very quick to be like, well, that was just bad. That was just, well, we can just do so much better. All these new ideas have come to our plate, and we just know now what we should have done. We're very hard on ourselves, Marco and I. I don't think we've made anything bad. But there's always there's always some character that you're just like, man, we could really ramp that up, couldn't we? We could really take that one to the next level. I'm using transparent green now as a glaze. Black Widow by Alice Cooper. There you go, Mr. Rich. That's it. I know that monologue. I can recite that monologue. Because if I may put forward a personal slice of personal philosophy, have you done any movie stuff? We focus on comic books. They're Johnny Guitar. I feel like Johnny Guitar has been to the crossroads. I feel like everybody's now listening to this song, including Anne, to know what the heck I'm talking about. These words he speaks are true. Raw humanary stew. I think the new Earth's Mightiest core set Doc Ock definitely has a Alfred Molina jive to him, right? Like, it's from the comics, but it has that jive. Okay, we were doing liver spots and we only got a few minutes. You better get your questions in or we're gonna run out of time.
4-minute warning. This is your 4-minute warning.
Okay, I mixed red and green in the base flesh tone. a lot of water. I'm going to just tip a tap, dry brush, absorb, and turn it into little dots, little stains, just to give that like sort of liver spot feel. I just don't want them to be too big and too overpowering, right? Maybe some on the forehead. I choose to think Vulture is Vincent Price. It's true. I can see it. He's like, well, Spider-Man, I see you've chosen to join me on this most fortuitous of nights in my castle. It's a terrible Vincent Price. Why is it hard to paint with yellow? I would put forth, it's not. It's a learned, but it's more of a learned technique to paint with yellow instead of just the natural, you can just coat anything with green, it works. We've covered yellow multiple times on stream. I definitely think it's something you should take a look at. It's not that hard to go back and find those streams where we paint yellow. Some of the tricks is to paint pink before yellow. Well, ask yourself also, what do you find hard? Is it just the getting the solid base coat? Because that's the easiest thing to fix. All you need is to cover with pink first, or like an ochre or a brown, and then build the yellow up. Don't try to just paint. Don't try to paint like canary yellow, right? Yellow has yellow. The pigments in yellow are more dispersed, and that's why when you do a layer of it, you can see through it. And some other paints, the pigment is just a tighter, more compact. So that's why you get like a even coat with one layer. So if you imagine this is a layer of paint that's like an ochre or a brown or pink, and then yellow goes over top of it, where you see through the yellow, you see the brown, pink, or ochre. So that helps you sort of look like you have a better coat, right? You just can't take bright canary yellow and just slap it down. Also, you shouldn't anyways, just from a philosophical standpoint. It's like painting white. You don't paint white when you paint white. You paint grays and then you add white at the very end. For me, yellow is the same way. I don't use yellows. I use ochres and browns and stuff, and then at the end I finally finish off with that bright canary yellow, and it makes the whole thing feel more canary. So that's like, definitely go find some of our videos where we talk about it and give it a try, and just think about, like, you're not trying to just paint canary yellow or bright yellow first. You're building into those colors. Always happy to help. We release released a super cool blue dice from Adepticon. I don't know what that means. Is that prize wall
Might be
stuff?
Talking about the prize wall?
Oh, prize wall stuff. I think prize wall stuff is prize wall stuff.
Yeah. Prize wall stays on prize wall. We won't. Those will be earned but not sold, I believe.
Yeah, you gotta earn them. My son will be 10 this year. Any advice for a kiddo? Yeah, you never learn by winning, kid. That's my advice to a 10-year-old. All the best lessons is from losing. Never give up, never surrender. Get in there and keep giving your best. Learn to take criticism. And don't forget to elevate others. He's really close to done. Got more touch-ups and stuff to do. Those final details. Some advice I gave my 10-year-old. He turned out pretty good. I'm surprised Johnny Guitar didn't say, I just meant like painting advice, bro. Keep trying. Painting miniatures is a fine art, correcting little mistakes. And don't compare yourself to others. Only compare yourself to the last thing you painted. It's not a race. It's about having a good time and painting miniatures with your friends and family. Oh, we went over, Ann. Woo.
We did, but you seem so in it.
I was in it. I was in the zone. Tell me when you're ready.
So ready.
Oh, so ready. Thanks for joining us. Remember, every Tuesday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can check us right here on Twitch, where we hang out, we paint, we try to answer questions, as many as we can, because we love hanging out. And remember, for all the latest news, information, and announcements coming from Atomic Mass Games, you should check us out on Twitter and or Instagram. Thanks for coming by.
It's there.
Oh, say everybody saying bye. Check check us out on Twitter and our Instagram. So until next week, we'll see you, Larry.
Bye.
Vulture coming from the sky. He's coming down from the sky because he saw some guy with a popcorn bucket and he's gonna steal it. No, I don't know. He's the vulture.